मैं कॉलेज में थी उस जमाने में, नो इंटरनेट, नो नथिंग. You had to go to a library और अखबार पढ़ना था. They had some English papers and all. So I was totally incommunicado जब मैं अमेरिका में थी. I had contact with my brothers जो वो लंदन में थे. Otherwise I had no contact. मेरी माँ जेल में थी, मेरे बाप जेल में था, मेरी बहन जेल में थी. किसको मालूम when they're out of jail, when they're back in jail. Sometimes I would try and dial 70 Clifton. वो कोई नहीं था 70 Clifton में. So I had no idea. मेरा भाई का एक दोस्त है जो रात को मुझे फोन करता है and says, by the way, I want you to know your father. I said, he's joking. I didn't believe it. In a way, maybe survival instinct था. इंसान जब बाहर है, all alone, not knowing where to go, what to do. America didn't know. In England, हाँ, लोगों को मालूम है. They're very interested in politics and in international politics abroad. अमेरिका में लोगों को उस जमाने में मालूम नहीं था पाकिस्तान कहाँ है. So it was a very difficult. So it was in a way very easy for me to say, oh, वो नहीं हुआ, पता नहीं ये लड़के ने क्यों मुझे फोन किया, तू इत्तला करो मी. And I just, in my mind, I couldn't accept it, to be honest with you. बहुत time लगा till I finally, even when I went back to Pakistan after my father said he didn't want me there in Pakistan while he was in a death cell. और मुश्किल भी था मेरे family के लिए, इसलिए कौन संभालेगा? What are they going to do with me when they're all in jails? And they weren't the type to say, oh, हम जेल में, चलो सनम को भी जेल ले जाते हैं. Like the first time when I came back, वो martial law order आया मेरी माँ के लिए और बहन के लिए, सब जेल लड़काना, और एक एक्स्ट्रा पेपर लाए, बोले ये तुम्हारी बेटी के लिए है, सनम के लिए. So मेरी माँ बोली सनम क्यों जेल में जाएगी? Why should she go? Just because we're going to jail. So I, luckily मेरी बहन की एक सहेली आई थी from Oxford. So she and I stayed in 70 Clifton, and we had staff, Purane staff, and also we were not afraid. And log डरते थे 70 Clifton आने. So we were quite safe, to be honest with you. There's always a CID outside or someone or the other कोई नहीं आता. So you were safe. But the thing is, it took me a long time to accept my part. It's not an easy thing for a person to go through, you know. And looking back, when the pillar of your family goes, of course we all shattered. Of course, when I see, to look back and see what happened to my family, it was bound to happen. How can you do what they did to us without, I don't know, it's something that I still haven't got around my head to, that you snuff out a human life like that, put him in exile, put him in jail for life, but to kill somebody who just turned 50 years old. I mean, my father was 30 years old, as I mentioned earlier, when he was a minister, and he was a young man. He was 33 years old when the 65 war. You go to a civilian who's a 33-year-old kid and you say, how do we do the war? Why didn't they go to generals? Why didn't they go to colonels? Why didn't they go to the field marshal to ask how to do a war? You go to a kid and tell a kid who's a diplomat, who's just become a foreign minister, what do we do? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
And when you think of his age, if he was some sage of 65 and had, been in this war and studied every war till then, I'd say, okay. But a 33-year-old guy, he knew about GNB and few and one or two other important, and that was it.
Bilkul.
And he wasn't a military strategist, he was a smart guy, but I mean, there's a limit to.
There's a limit.
That's the way life. And every book, oh, it was him. Why did you go to him to ask him what to do during the 65 war? Was there no one in Pakistan to consult who knew military strategy?
बिल्कुल.
I'm sorry, I get very emotional and upset.
हाँ जी, नहीं, I know 30s में थे, 37 की उम्र क्या होती है?
33, 36 के थे, not even 37.
36, sorry. जी, कोई
sorry.
नहीं, आप बिल्कुल सही कह रही हैं और बिल्कुल ये बात आनी चाहिए और ये बड़ा अहम पॉइंट है. इसके ऊपर कोई बात नहीं करता कि जी वो सारा ब्लेम जो है 65 वॉर का वो हमेशा डाल दिया जाता है कि जी भुट्टो ने ये कर दिया, भुट्टो ने.
और मैं ताज्जुब में बैठती हूँ कि कैसे उसके पास क्यों गए, कोई और नहीं था दुनिया में.
जी.
Go and study Alexander, Julius Caesar's maps. Everyone has written about Napoleon. Go ask them what to do, read their books, or go to ask him what did Napoleon say, maybe, or what did Alexander do when he went to Corinth. But don't say you decide the strategy. My sister was the elder child, even though she wasn't much older than us. My parents really looked at her as an elder child. But as far as politics or talking to us about politics, he talked to all of us. We were all sitting in the same room when he would tell us. He was a great storyteller. He could tell stories really, really well. So he did. But I think Bibi had come back from college. She was the only child there at that time. And yes, while my father was in jail, he did groom her. But my father also told her, I don't, initially, he said to her, you're my child. I don't want you to do this. You got your life ahead of you. You go away, leave. And she obviously said, I won't leave. You're my father and I'll stay. And we'll do this together. And that's what happened. But my father didn't want 3 other children on his, not knowing what we're going to do, where we're going to be. Boys can be picked up, men can be tortured, beaten. The Zia had said Char Diwali and whatever the, starting of the whatever. So we knew as women, yeah. So we knew as women we couldn't be beaten and tortured. But my mother was worried for my sons, her sons. She said they can beat them, they can throw them in jail, torture them. I want them out. Plus, my parents had from the first day emphasized education. So they told us, my father actually called a friend of ours and said, I want you to do this one thing, and that is, I want my kids to go back to studies. We were all in colleges. Only Bibi had finished and come back. And my parents told us, they said, go. My mother took us to the airport and she said to me and to my brothers, if someone tries to take you off the plane or says, come with us or whatever, for any reason, she said, hit them, kick them, bite them. Don't get off that plane, get out and go and finish your studies. And that's luckily we didn't have to bite and kick anyone.
Bilkul.
Yeah, but it was a very, very, it's very easy to talk. It was a very dangerous situation.
Yes.
And places like the third world, you leave the sinking ship. I mean, there were lots of people who did not leave the sinking ship, I have to say, who were so brave and who stuck it out. I mean, I talked to people who were, 18 and who were doing metric and they were locked in jails and all. And this was the children of the parents who were already with my father and the struggle to change Pakistan.
हजारों लोग जेल गए, कोड़े खाए, नौकरियां चली गईं, घर चले गए.
मुश्किल था. And somehow you come back, you can't bring everyone, though you wish to bring. Sometimes things happen, you don't know where somebody goes or what happens. But it was a very, very tough time for my family. I mean, it wasn't easy. Now, I don't know.
सनम, जब भुट्टो साहब प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे और टिक्का खान के बाद जनरल जिया को उसने आर्मी चीफ लगाया, डिड यू एवर सी दैट मैन? कभी देखा उसको?
I don't know. I probably saw them in here and there in some function, but I never bothered. I didn't bother to.
So you have no recollection of?
No, I have no. Thank God, I have no recollection. I don't used to have recollection. But no, I don't have a recollection now.
भुट्टो साहब के बारे में एक चीज बहुत मशहूर है कि वो पढ़ते बहुत थे. He used to read a lot. Or he hardly slept. Is that true?
Yes, that's very true. First of all, itna calm, dispatch boxes, files, all the files he used to write on them and read every file. Sometimes we'd sit with him while he was doing file. Even to be fair, even my sister, poor thing, she used to say some working and she'd say, tum log baat karo while I work, so I can hear some normal talk. Anybody who does a high-powered job, when they relax, they want to relax the opposite. They want to do, like frivolous talk or just go do sort of the opposite of what they do.